We are going to move on now. Labour leader Sir Keir Starmer speaks later today. He will want to convince the British public the party has changed from the days of Jeremy Corbyn. Will he convince the public? I'm going to be joined right now by Mike Gapes, former Labour MP who left the party under Corbyn and rejoined it earlier this year. This is his first party conference back as a member. Thanks for joining me, Mike. What convinced you to sign up again for the Labour project?
Because Keir Starmer and the team around him have changed the Labour Party. They've reconnected it with the values of the British people. And I'm very comfortable and I'm delighted to be here at the Labour Party conference again. I used to go from 1974 onwards. I was at Labour Party conferences until 2017 was my last one. And I'm delighted to be here amongst friends. Everybody is being so warm to me and people are saying, welcome back to your home. And it's a great atmosphere.
Presumably, when you saw the former leader, Jeremy Corbyn, yesterday, refusing to condemn Hamas's appalling raid on Israel, it reminded you why you left the party under Mr Corbyn.
Absolutely. And you could say the same about the position that people around him had taken with regard to what Russia is doing in Ukraine. And, of course, the anti-Semitism that was also rampant in that period. And the Labour Party has really changed, and the extremists and the cranks are outside the hall, outside the secure zone, waving around and having no influence in here. It's a fantastic feeling to be that the Labour Party is back, and it's, I hope, on its way back to government.
Yeah, you talk about the demonstrations outside. You're quite right, let's be fair. They were outside the conference, but it was a bit distressing and disappointing. Not Labour's fault, of course, but to see those hordes of people outside the conference yesterday waving their Palestinian flags. Good old Palestine. Yes, we all support Palestine. Well, wait a second, I don't think we do. Depressing and disappointing to see that. There's a time and a place to support Palestine, and right now isn't one of them.
Well, I think we all recognise, and David Lammy made this clear in his speech, and I think Keir Starmer will probably refer to it as well, that the situation that Israel is facing is absolutely horrific and horrendous. The massacring of young people who were at a peace music festival is just sickening. And anybody who has had young children who've been at music festivals can't possibly imagine what those young people went through. And what we've got is a violent death cult, calls itself Hamas, and it basically has to be defeated. And the biggest victims of Hamas are actually Muslim Arabs, because in Gaza they are running a terrorist state. And every time they do these violent acts, the people who suffer are the innocent civilians, and not just Israelis, but also Palestinians. And Hamas is a blockage to a two-state peace in the Middle East.
And you speak, of course, as a former vice chair of the Labour Friends of Israel, so you know what you're talking about. Can we move on, though, Mike? Keir Starmer, you say that, he's getting in touch with the hearts and the minds of the British people. Now, he was asked by Laura Kuenssberg on the BBC just ahead of this conference at the weekend, if the government begin to take planes off for Rwanda and it stops the boats, it offers up a deterrent that succeeds in stopping the dinghies and the boats coming across the channel. So, in other words, our cross-channel migrant crisis is solved. It's over. He says if he gets into power, he will scrap that, get rid of the Rwanda scheme, so presumably allow the boats and the dinghies to come across the channel again. Do you think that's in tune with the hearts and minds of the British people? Because it's not. No
one believes who knows anything about the refugee crisis of people going across the Mediterranean or across the Channel. Nobody believes that this expensive Rwanda scheme is going to stop migration.
Well, yeah, wait a minute. It might. Give it a go. Give it a go. Why not? Why not try it?
The reality
it doesn't matter.
is,
nobody believes it. It's worth a try.
No, let me finish my point. Nobody believes, who understands the origins of this. We have to deal with the people smuggling gangs. These boats
Peter, you're digressing. You're digressing. Why would Peter? You're digressing. Why would Keir Starmer cancel the Rwanda scheme if it's working? If it stopped the boats? Why would he do that?
It's not working.
Why would he do it?
It won't work. Because there are better ways to deal with this issue.
But no. What we're saying is it's succeeded. It stopped the boats. He said he will reverse that. Allow the boats to cover. That's political incoherence. It's nonsense.
Are you going to shout me down, or are you going to let me answer your question?
I want you to answer the question. Why would he cancel a scheme that has
worked?
worked?
On shouting at me.
No, but Peter, why would he cancel a scheme that has worked?
It's probably not very good television if you carry on shouting. Can you stop
why would he
shouting
cancel a scheme that has worked?
It hasn't worked, and
but I'm saying it could.
And we are spending hundreds of millions of pounds in Rwanda on a scheme that other countries also tried.
Hundreds of
even
millions?
The Israelis and we will be spending. It's 120 million pounds so far has been committed to Rwanda, and by this government. And there are better ways, including cooperation. When we left the European Union, we also left the Dublin agreements, and there was no alternative brought in whereby we could return people to European countries. That is something that would be more effective, plus the crime and policing cooperation with Europol and cracking down on the gangs internationally. That would be a far more effective way than the Rwanda scheme, which is a waste of money and will not work properly.
How do you know that?
You and I have a different view, that's clear. But I think people who looked at this issue...
No, I mean, I'm just saying, Peter, you know, I don't mean to be aggressive with you, but it's just that...
Well,
what we're talking about, Mike, is this. You know, I'm saying, hypothetically, the Rwanda scheme is up and running, and it has stopped the boats. And it would all go great. What Keir Starmer is saying, at that point, he would reverse that decision and allow the boats to cross again.
Yeah,
you think that's in harmony with what the people want?
No, because
You're
the Rwanda
all over the place
scheme
with
will
this,
not.
Mike. I'm sorry.
The Rwanda scheme will not do what the Tories are claiming it will do. It will make a marginal impact, if at all, on the major crisis. And the major problem here is the mass movement of people from North Africa and elsewhere across the Mediterranean and into countries of Europe. And then some of them come across to Britain. But the big problem is what's happening across from North Africa, from Tunisia, from Libya and elsewhere. And there are wide issues here, and it requires international cooperation to deal with it.
OK, Mike, listen, I'm really glad you're back in the Labour fold. You're obviously happy about that. Good to spar with you.
Yes.
Great to talk to you. Thank you very much.
OK, right, thank you.
That's Mike Gapes, former Labour MP.